Hello everyone. Today I'm Rishabh Bhardwaj, Assistant Professor from the Mechanical Department, taking the lecture of Automobile Engineering and for the semester 6th. Today in this lecture we will going to study about the tires. Tires are the main and the very important component or the part of the automobile by which we are able to move our vehicle in a smoother way. Let's move to the introduction part. That is, what is the function of the tire? If we're talking about, or we can say, what is tire? Let's start with the what is tire. A tire is a ring-shaped component that surrounds a wheel's rim to transfer a vehicle's load from the axle through the wheel of the ground and to provide the traction on the surface traveled over. Most tires, such as those for automobiles and bicycles, are pneumatically inflated structures which also provide a flexible cushion that absorbs shock as the tire rolls over rough features of the surface. Tire provides a footprint that is designed to match the weight of the vehicle with the bearing strength of the surface that is rolled by providing a bearing pressure and that will not deform any surface excessively. The material of the modern pneumatic tire are synthetic. That is the synthetic rubber, natural rubber, fabric and wires. Along with the carbon black and the chemical compound, they consist of thread and a body. The thread provides traction while the body provides the containment for the quantity of compressed air. Before rubber was developed, the first version of tire were simply bands of metal fitted around the wooden wheel to prevent wear and tear. Early rubber tires were solid. Pneumatic tires are used on many types of vehicle, including cars, bicycles, motorcycles, buses, trucks, heavy equipments, and aircrafts. Metal tires are still used on locomotive and rail cars, and rubber and solid rubbers. Tires are still used in various non-automotive applications such as casters, carts, and wheelbarrows. Now let's discuss about the functionality of the tires. That is the one surface that the tire will make contact with. That is the only contact with ground. It will not contact with any other body part of the vehicle. Just ground. It will touch the ground, and it will act as a primary suspension and providing the cushioning the vehicle from the effect of rough surfaces. It also provides the frictional contact with the road surface which allows the driving wheels to move the vehicle. The front tires also allows the wheels to steer, and the tires allow braking to slow or stop the vehicle. Let's move to the topic, that is the property of a tire. For a good tire or a desirable tire, what kind of properties of the tire should be? First, it should be a non-skidding tire. As we know, from the skidding, we are not able to stop our vehicle, and our vehicles get skid over the road. For that, we are using the non-skidding property of the tire. Then we have a uniform wear, by which the complete wearing of the tire will take place, not at the positionings. The next is the load carrying capacity. This is the desirable property, that which we can change or change the tire, and the depending upon the material of the tires, by which we are able to carry the load, and got to know how much the tire can be tire have a capacity to bear the load. Then we have a speed capacity. Different tires could have a different speed capacities, by which we have to see that how much speed capability tires we have to take, and for which our automobile are designed for. Then cushioning. The off-road vehicle and a normal economic car both have a different cushionings, and we have to see which type of cushionings, and what and how much cushioning we have to feel in our car, or desirable property. Then we have a power consumption. Depending upon the material and the design of the tires, the power of the engine may be consumed. If we have a high height tire, or we can say the high profile tires, they will consume the lots of power from the engine. Then we have a noise. Noise is also a factor by which we have to see for the tires, as either it may be a improper imbalance, or as a property by which we are not able to move our vehicle. Then we have a balance. Balancing property plays a special role in the automobile, as the if the balance of the tires are not proper, then we are not able to move our vehicle in a speedy way, or the uniform wear will not takes place, and even the load carrying capacity also decreases by this, and we are not or we maybe got injury, or our vehicle get broken down due to the imbalancing of the tires. Next we have a terminology for the tires. We have different terms by which we will learn about the tires. Let's start with the steel wheel. The most popular design, and very strong and cheap to produce, that is the steel wheel. If we use the alloy wheels, these type of wheels are attractive and lightweight, but they are expensive and difficult to clean. Next we have a spoked wheels. The spoked wheels are used on older vehicles and cannot be fitted with tubeless tires. Then we have a divided rims. In this, the rims are made of two halves which are bolted together. In this, the rim must never be separated while the tires is inflated. Then we have a split rim. In this, the tire is held in place by larger circlip. Then we have a piles. Layer of strong fabric which are built to give the tire its strength and shape. Bead. Loops of steel which are the anchor point for the piles. Cross ply tires. The main plies of the tires run at the angle of 45 degree from one bead to the another. And radial ply tires. The main plies of the tire run at 90 degrees from one bead to the another. Thread. It is a rubber pattern provided the grip with the road surface and assist in clearing water away. Then we have a slide valve, side valve. The side valve are the are connect side valve connects the bead to the thread of the tires. Let's discuss the parts of the tire. For the tires, we have first bead. The bead are the we have bead are or consist of two rings that are made up of steel wires and encased in rubber. They hold tire side walls snugly against the rim and prevent the tire from coming off. Body piles. The rubberized fabric and cords wrap around bead for cars and the body of the tire. Next we have a thread. Outer surface of the tire that comes in contact with road that are known as thread. Next we have a side valve. The outer part of the tire that extend from the bead to the thread and marking on the side wall provides the information about the tire. Liner. The thin layer of rubber that is bounded to the inside of the piles and provide leak-proof membrane from the tubeless tires. Next we have belts. The belts are used to strengthen the body piles and stiffen the thread. There lies between thread and the piles. Now we have a compounds used in the tires. That is the first we have a carbon black. Carbon black adds strength and abrasion resistance while protecting rubber against UV light. Next we have during curing sulfur like rubber molecule together added strengthen and given the rubber resistance to both heat and cold. The next we have a zinc stearate. Next is small amount of zinc stearate and waxes help control curing rate, prevent oxidation and make rubber easier to protect. Then we have accelerators are used to control the cure rate. So different type of rubbers can cure fully in same amount of time. Then we have a antioxidant and anti-ozonants are added to rubber to fight degradation of oxygen and ozone, which can shorten the life of the tires. This is a cut way of a tire in which we can see the layers of the tires, in which we have a bead, filler, liner, first ply, second ply, first belt, second belt, center line, thread, base, side valve, winner, white valve and rim cushion. These are all the components and the labeling of a tire, that is in a cut section. First we will discuss about the bias-ply tire construction. It is one of the oldest design by which the several textile piles are laid across each other and running from the bead to the bead in alternate direction. The number of plies depending upon the size of the tire and load it has to carry. And the same number of plies is used on the crown and the side walls. The plies run at the angle from the bead to bead and does not use any belts. It also allows the body of the tire to flex easily and improve the cushioning. Its weakness or its limitation is that it reduces the traction at high speed and increase the rolling resistance. For the belted bias tire construction, we have a bias tire ply which used to increase the thread stiffness. Belts do not run around the side wall. They lay under the thread area only. The belts and the plies run at a different angle and offer some reduction in rolling resistance over a bias ply tires. It may also provide the smooth ride and a good traction. Next, we have a radial tire construction. In this, the plies run straight across the bead to bead, and it has a very flexible sidewall and a stiff thread, giving it a very stable footwear. Consists of the carcass ply formed by the textile arcs running from one bead to the another. Each ply is led at the angle of 90 degree to the direction of tire rolling. At the top of the tire crown, a belt made up of several plies reinforced with metal wire is led. These crown plies led one on the top of other and overlap at an angle determined by the types of the tire. Let's discuss about the advantages of the radial ply tire. In our daily use cars, that will be the economic cars, sedans, hatchbacks, and compact cars. In these, we use the radial ply tires. In this, the sidewall can bend easily and it absorbs shock, and its shock absorbing capacity is about to or more than the 25%, more than the bias ply or the cross ply. And we're talking about the rolling lower. It has a lower rolling resistance and hysteresis loss lead to less fuel consumption, longer thread life because of less heat built in the tires. The braking efficiency on wet road is better because of greater side walls, flexibility and thread stiffness. It has better steering characteristics. While taking the turn, it has less tendency to distort and lift off the road from one side. It may also have a large resistance to puncture, cuts and impact in the thread area. This is the direction. This is the diagram for the bias contact patch and the radial contact patch. In the bias contact patch, the contact area from the ground is half and it's all about the 90 degree from bead to bead. And in the radial tires, it about sorry, in the bias it has 45 degree, and here we have a 90 degree angle. Then we have non-directional tire, by which we have a non-directional tires. We have a uniform groove, and that can be run in any direction, either from the left tire or right tire. It will move very smoothly. Then we have a unidirectional tire, in which the grooves are in one direction and the direction of rotation is clearly marked, by which the positioning of the tire will remain the same. We are not able to move rotate our tires in the wheel. Next we have the cross section of tubeless tire. In the tubeless tire we have the bed area same as the previous one, the inner lining, belts, casting ply, and a bead wire shoot bead too. In this, the bead area is larger as compared to the biased one. Plus, the side walls are more get strengthened as compared to the other. Now discuss what are the advantages of tubeless tire. For the tubeless tire, the less unsprung weight can be beared. It has better cooling rate, and it has lesser rolling resistance and provide a comfortable ride. It slowly the leakage it loses the air or the leakage of air quite low in this tubeless tire. And it is simpler in assembly and it improves the safety of the vehicle. Then next we have a tire side making. The tire side making or the tire side marking we can say. Then if we have the a tire on the side wall, we have some notations that mean that kind of P195 oblique 75 R14 92 S M and S. Basically P stands for the passenger type, either the tire is for passenger or the good carrying. Then we have a 195 shows the width of the tire in mm. Then next we have a 75 oblique 75 represents the percentage of 195. That means 75% of 195 is the height of the side wall. That is the aspect ratio of our profile. Then R stands for the radial construction and 14 represents the rim diameter. Then we have a 92. 92 will shows the load rating. It is the load carrying capacity of the vehicle. Then we have S. S stands for the speeding rating of tire, and that will be the 180 km per hour. M and S. M and S denotes the suitable for the mud and snow. That these tires are suitable for the mud and the snowing area also. These are the markings that represents the values. Now we have the speed rating. If we have the B symbol over the tire, it means the speed limit that will be the 50 km per hour. Simultaneously it will increasing downward, and if we have the Y marking over the tire, it means our vehicle tires have the capacity to run at 300 km per hour, by which we are not getting any wear or distortion in the tire. And for the load carrying, if load index mentioned the 71, 72, 73, 74 in onwards up to 83, or we can say that about 103, then the load carrying capacity will be increased. As for the 71, that is 345, and for 103, that is 875 kilograms kg. Next we have a tire pattern. The tire pattern are the competitive one and used in many areas, by which we can also recognize or determine the tire by the help of thread patterns. First tires we have a performance or a summer tire, by which we can see that the performance and the summer tires used in summer only. In the winters, they are not perform as compared to the summer one. Then we have a all weather tire. All weather tire move in every condition and suitable for every vehicle. Then we have a wet weather. The area where we have a lots of rain. At that area we will use the wet weather tire pattern. Then we have all terrain. All terrain pattern means we have a off-road vehicle pattern by which we can track or in that the incline position, decline position, up and downs, that will be used. Then we have a mud. In the muddy areas or sludges areas, we will use the mud or the dirt bikes and the dirt trains. In that the mud tires are used. Then we have a tire problem. If we have a tire problems, how either the featuring that is the improper alignment due to the improper or non-uniform wearing of the tires may cause be the improper toe, war damage steering and suspension parts, and even the hard cornering. Next we have a cupping. Cupping is warm or damaged steering or suspension part, and it is because of cause a improper balancing. Then we have a one edge. In this improper alignment called camber and worn or damaged steering or suspension part. Next we have a mechanical irregularities. In this, the toe in and the toe out problem can be measured, and the left and the right wearing irregularities are has been seen. In the next, we have a toe out direction, in which we can see the wheels are moving outward and the wearing of the tire will also have some deflections. Next we have a thread wear marking. In this, this is the indicator by which we are able to measure the wear of the tire. Either we have a measuring tool by which we will put on the mark and noted the marking of the tire wear, or we can secondly we have a method by which we can put a coin in that and able to recognize how much the wear of the tiring has been taken. Next we have a nitrogen in tires. The makeups of around 80% of the air is nitrogen. Still we have some liquid and the gaseous nitrogen over the tires by which we are able to reduce the temperature of the tires, and the speed could be little high, about 0.8 effectively increased in the tires. We have a dry inert gas and it is less reactive than oxygen. The leaks out on the side walls 3 times slower than the oxygen. And the oxygen oxidizes the rubber in the inside valve. And it has been pumped into tires in a pure form. Hence, it does not contain any moisture found in the compressed ambient air, which causes the rusting of steel rim. And the result in that all materials that come into contact with the compressed gas inside the tire are less subject to oxidation corrosion. Next we have a special service tire. The spacer saver spare tire, or a Stepney we generally know as, knew the name of the spare tires, and it is used to replace the flat tires and not used for the tire rotation. It is a special wheel and uses as a special wheel or the separate wheel, and the speed and the pressure restriction apply also on that. It has no caps or hub caps on the wheel cover or the over the temporary tire or the spare tires. Next we have a tire care essentials. The thread depth is not must be less than 1.6 mm over the 3/4 of the tire and must we go all around the circumference in a continuous unbroken band with no bald patches anywhere from the tire thread. If the radial and the cross ply tires are fitted on the same vehicle, the radial ply tire must be fitted on the rear wheel. If the cross ply and the radial ply tires must never be fitted on the same axle. If the tire pressure must be set to the manufacturer recommendation. The thread and the side wall must be free from large cut, abrasion and the bubbles. Next we have a changing of tire. The substitute should have equal or greater load bearing capacity. The diameter of the tire increases load capacity, and the low profile tire, wider tire and large wheel tires also increase the capacity of the load carrying. And overall diameter of replacement tire must be positive than the 5% of the original tire. And the tire's diameter change the speedometer and it must be recalibrated after the changing of tires. Next we have a rim. The rim is the basic component which able to rotate and get rotation from the axle, and further the tire is mounted over it. The most standard wheel are made up of steel, with some vehicles are fitted with alloy wheels are made up of magnesium or the aluminium. The rim holds the tire which is mounted on it, and the well of the wheel allows the tire to remove the refitted. And central section of the rim will be welded to the rim. This is the position or the uh, diagram of the basic rim, in which the center area is the rim diameter and the two endpoints or the two sides of the rim are known as the bead seat, and the coverage or the fleet come out from the one side, that will be known as the flange height. Next we have a valve stream and cores. This is very essential part for the tires, as it allows to enter or release the air from the tire. The function is to retain and allow the inflation and deflation. It is a rubber stem of the valve and is pulled into the wheel. The valve core contains a spring-loaded air valve insert. The valve core also has a sealing washer and seat washer. The valve cap knee out dust and helps to keep the air in. The tire pressures must only be checked and adjusted when the tire is cold. Today we are just ending this lecture over here, and in this lecture we have studied about the construction of the tire, types of tire and wearing of the tire, and how can we prevent this wearing and wearing and the torsion, wearing and worn of the tires especially. And for the today it's come to an end, and stay tuned for the next videos. Thank you.